Hello everyone, Patrick in today's first video doing 5-day forecast. Today's first video, as always, on a Wednesday, having a detailed look at weather the next 5 days across the British Isles. Later on, we'll have a look at the weather going out to 10 days away and pick the story up beyond the 5-day forecast period. So, it's going to be a transitional 5 days ahead, I think. We're going to start off pretty cold, especially tomorrow. You have a very cold, icy, bitter southerly wind, but after that we're going to find milder air starting to encroach in from the land. It's going to be a slow old process to really warm things up, but by next week we should see the Atlantic properly breaking through and bringing us some wet and windy weather, which we haven't had much of actually this winter, so you're going to have a proper wet and windy spell potentially next week. Before you get on with the 5-day forecast though, just say about the links to articles on all of the pages. Have a browse through widgets and click through the links. If there's any articles that you're interested in, you're going to help us pay the website. Thanks so much for doing that. It's also video as most of the pages say, oh, that content, if you give them a watch, you will be helping us to pay for GazService.com. The website's using full 5-day forecast coming from the weatheroutlook.com and weathercentral.de. Finally, link to both websites on the links page. So, I've got some rain in the far northwest today. I've had a long dry spell, really, for most parts of the country, but a little bit of rain is coming into the far northwest of Scotland down towards Northern Ireland as well. Probably not going to make much more eastwards progress than that. Most places are actually going to be dry today. Here's today's Arctic pressure chart. So we've got high pressure to the east and low pressure to the west. The winds are generally coming in off the continent, particularly for England and Wales, so they are light today. For Scotland and Northern Ireland, it's an Atlantic wind, so it is milder there. Now, I've had a lot of fog down across the southeast through the course of this morning. I think most of that will thin out into this afternoon, but one or two patches could continue right throughout the day in the east. And where that happens, it's going to be a really, really cold day with temperatures just staying around freezing all day. Otherwise, it's going to be cold anyway for England and Wales. The temperatures are just 3, 4, 5 degrees at best. However, we know it's different for Western Scotland and Northern Ireland. There's cloud and outbreaks of rain there. And much of Scotland and Northern Ireland, just coming down to northwest of England, will be cloudy, quite windy as well. There's fairly tight packed isobars in the northwest. It's going to be a fairly windy day up there, and milder, with temperatures in the Outer Hebrides down into Northern Ireland probably reaching around 10 degrees. That's 50 in Fahrenheit. Now we go through to tonight and we're going to find the wind picking up. So we might have some more dense fog in the southeast this evening, but I think most of that should lift through the course of the night as the wind freshens. This is going to be a cold wind, an icy wind getting up, although it's coming out from the south, or coming up from the south. It's very cold across France, so it'll be a bitter wind that gets up overnight. We're going to find the cloud and shower rain in the northwest tending to die out. That's being pushed back north and west again, really, by this southerly wind. Widespread frost tonight, with temperatures across England and Wales going down to -2 or -3. That'll be a penetrating frost as well with the wind, so it probably won't look all that white when you get up in the morning, but if you're trying to go deeper gardening, you'll probably find that it's rock solid down across England and Wales. A bit of a penetrating frost coming up tonight. Into Thursday, and again, we've got strong southerly winds here, but the isobars are tightening, so it could be a bitter wind that's across the country on Thursday. Most places will have sunny spell. It's going to be fairly decent in terms of bright, sunny conditions, but it's that wind that's going to be the main feature, because it's a strong wind and it's bitterly cold, an icy wind with temperatures in the east barely above freezing, just 1 or 2 degrees. In the west, a bit colder there as well, actually, with temperatures just around 4, 5 or 6 degrees, so many western parts of it. So even in the west and the north, it is colder. Most places dry until towards evening. For the Republic of Ireland, there'll be outbreaks of rain starting to push in off the Atlantic. That's the first signs of the change into Friday and the weekend. So we go through to Friday. We're finding the Atlantic now begin to break through as the high pressure begins to recede back into eastern parts of Europe. We start Friday with a widespread frost again, and probably still quite an icy wind left over in the east, but we should start to lose that bitterly cold southerly wind through the day. It will ease down. For many northern eastern parts, it's going to be dry with sunny spells gradually being replaced by cloud. But out in the west, so for Ireland, Wales, southwest England, we'll find cloud and outbreaks of showery rain moving in, that pushing in towards Wales, northwest England through the course of the day. As it reaches high ground, it might turn to sleet or snow over the Welsh mountains and the Pennines, but I think that'll be more at elevation. Most places on lower levels probably having outbreaks of rain. Temperature's still quite cold in the east, a little bit less cold than Thursday, but even so, just 4 or 5 degrees. We do lose that cold, icy wind, though, so it won't feel as bad. In the west, we'll probably find temperatures eventually getting up to around 7 or 8, so turning milder in the west and southwest by the end of the day. Low pressure is in control of the weather for Saturday, so it's going to be a fairly dull and damp start to the weekend, really. There'll be showery bursts of rain almost anywhere, but most of that will be across England and Wales, I would have thought, with the brightest skies probably up across Scotland. Temperatures, again, still fairly chilly, but a little bit less cold, ranging from around, say, 5 to 8 degrees Celsius. Bit of a change on Sunday. We're having a go at reaching an area of high pressure, or getting a ridge to push down from the north. This is trying to bring cold air back again, but it's going to get swamped by all this low pressure in the Atlantic. Also got a bit of a question mark for the south on Sunday, because there's going to be a weather system very close to southern England. How far north that gets is open to a lot of doubt. So Sunday is the really uncertain day in all of this, I think. So we could have some outbreaks of rain in the south. It might, if it was to hit the cold air, it might turn wintry, sleet or snow on a higher ground. But I think most of the rain will actually be in the Channel and across northern parts of France. But we'll keep an eye on it anyway. For central and northern parts of the country, it'll be a dry day with sunny spells. Quite a cold day. There'll be a frost to start off with, probably some dense fog as well. And that comes back again on Sunday night. So a bit colder, actually, on Sunday, with temperatures ranging from around 3 to 7 degrees. And then the real change, the real breakthrough of the Atlantic takes place on Monday at the end of a 5-day forecast period. Low pressure starting to rattle in from off the Atlantic. So we may start Monday with a frost, particularly so for the north and the east, but cloud and rain from the word go across Ireland and southwest England will pile northwards and eastwards, turning most places wet and windy by the end of Monday. Temperatures still fairly chilly in the east at around 5 or 6 degrees, but turning much milder in the west at around 10 to 11. And that's probably the trend as we go through next week. We see the temperatures lifting up in the first days of February, but I expect quite a bit of wet and windy weather at times. Finally, have a look at charts from the Weather Outlook. Here we go for today. We've got a lot of dry weather coming up today. This is showing sunny spell, but we know we've had a lot of fog down across the south and the east in particular. We go through to Thursday, and again, it's going to be a mostly dry day with a fair amount of sunshine. We will lose that fog risk, but the main thing will be the wind. It's going to be a bitterly cold wind that's blowing from the south, particularly for eastern parts of the country. And then a change takes place on Friday as cloud and showery rain begins to move up from the south and the west. The north and the east hanging on to cold weather through most of the day. Showery bursts of rain across the country on Saturday. Mostly dry and sunny, but there is some rain threatening the south. Temperatures closer to average, but still on the coldest side. And then we go through into Monday, where we find wet and windy weather sweeping in from the west, and that turns things significantly milder and more unsettled for next week. So, in summary, we're starting off cold with fog today. It's going to be an icy wind blowing from the south tomorrow. But after that, we're going to find temperatures becoming less cold, with showery rain moving in from the west. Perhaps a colder day again on Sunday, and then proper wet and windy weather begins to take over with milder temperatures for Monday. Come back later on, we'll have a look at the weather beyond 5 days, going up to 10 days away. But I'll be with you this afternoon. But that's all for now, and thanks for watching.